When buying parallettes, you have endless options. You have metal, wooden, mixed, low, high, mid. Due to this, the number one mistake you can make when buying parallettes is buying the wrong ones that won't work for you as you progress, so you end up wasting your money. In this video, we'll help you avoid that bank account destroying mistake by helping you decide what parallette is going to be best for the skills you want to learn, as well as what material and height is going to be best for you. Fully wooden parallettes. Firstly, we're going to go over the advantages and disadvantages of fully wooden parallettes. Firstly, the advantages. The number one advantage of having wooden parallette is the grip. The grip is wooden, so you have a much more comfortable grip that also slightly absorbs sweat. A lot of people find wooden parallettes, or at least the handles, to be much more comfortable. Also, if you train outside or it's cold where you train, the wood is not going to get freezing cold to touch. It's going to be summer and winter proof. So even in summer, it's not going to get super hot, and in winter, it's not going to be ice cold, so you don't want to touch it or have to wear gloves. It's a comfortable grip and is also good to use in different weather conditions. Secondly, because these are fully wooden, these are so light. You can see I can just swing these about, no problem. I'm not getting tired holding it. A lot of other parallettes that are either metal or have some parts metal, they can be heavier and harder to transport, and usually wooden parallettes are also smaller. Also, this is mostly personal opinion, but a lot of people find fully wooden parallettes to be the most aesthetic. Another reason you might want to go for fully wooden parallettes is because of the properties of wood. Wood absorbs a lot more force because of the nature of the material, so it's a lot gentler on the joints. So in a lot of dynamic movements, or if you just want to take care of your joints and you get a lot of joint pain, maybe think about getting wooden parallettes. These fully wooden parallettes by GORNATION are 40mm in diameter. That is the optimal width you want for your grip, for strength and balance. So if you're learning things like handstands or movements like the planche or even push-ups, 40mm is going to be the best for most people. If you have slightly bigger hands, you may want to go for something thicker, but 40mm is going to be the best for pretty much everyone. If you are feeling like going for fully wooden parallettes, you do want to go for good quality wooden parallettes, so think about the wood material. This is red beech, and that's for durability. Red beech is really good for durability, and you want wooden parallettes that are really well put together. You don't want ones that are going to start spinning after a couple years of using it. I have seen that. You want ones that are going to stay solid and stay put together. So think about that as well, the quality of the fully wooden parallette. And now the downsides of wooden parallettes. They do get dirty over time. As I mentioned, they absorb sweat. You'll be using chalk, so they will start building up some kind of dirt and things. You want to clean off it over time. So they are a little bit harder to clean, so something to think about. Also, the durability. Most metal parallettes are going to last longer than wooden parallettes. So it depends what you're after with the wooden parallettes. If you care more about the durability, again, they will still last years if they're good quality parallettes like these ones where they're polished, they're a little bit water resistant, so you can bring them back and just dry them. They'll be fine. But if you're going for a poorer quality one, or you're getting them soaking wet, it really rains a lot, but you train in the rain, then maybe think about getting a different style of parallette. Okay, so now you might be thinking fully wooden parallettes are for you, but what style do you go for? Do you go for the smaller compact style wooden parallette, or do you go for the longer extended style wooden parallette? Let's answer that now. This is going to be for people that really prioritize different training styles and portability. If you prioritize those two things and want to bring your parallettes and make sure they fit in your bag, this will work because this is only 30 centimeters long. They'll fit in a bag. It's also only 1.4 kg. So if you're going abroad, it's going to fit fine. It's going to be good for those balancing exercises and the ones where you have to lean a lot, because this is longer, so it's going to be more stable. But if you're more of a beginner and you still value those things, so portability, you want to take it everywhere with you, then you're going to want to get the compact parallette, because this is still going to allow you to learn skills like L-sits, V-sits, things like that, help your push-ups, your planches, your tuck planches. This is going to be great for that, and it's going to be smaller, so it's not a big commitment in terms of the pricing of it. As well, it's going to be smaller, so you can also carry other gear with you. Because you're a beginner, you're not properly prioritizing calisthenics properly, you're probably learning a few skills here and there. So this one is going to be for you. So because most wooden parallettes are low to the floor, you don't really see mid or dip bar size fully wooden parallettes. There's only certain skills you can learn on this. So I've made a list, and that's going to be handstands, frog stands, crow stands, elbow lever, one arm handstand, one arm elbow lever, Pushing skills like push-ups, straight arm handstand presses, bent arm presses, L-sits, V-sits, partial range of motion handstand push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, planche exercises such as planche lean, pseudo planche push-ups, full planche, partial range of motion planche push-ups, but the extended parallettes are going to be much better for planche movements. These low, fully wooden parallettes won't be ideal for learning skills such as Maltese or Victorian because you're going to be extremely close to the floor, and high pushing skills like dips, obviously. Next, let's talk about mixed material parallettes such as metal and wood to see if these are for you. So the number one advantage of having a metal and wooden parallette in one is you get the best of both worlds. This is what I like to call a Goldilocks parallette. You get the best of both worlds. You get the wood, which means you get the nice grip, comfortable grip, easier on your joints. You get that property of the wood, but you also get the metal on bottom. So that increases the stability at the bottom. You get that weight at the bottom. You also get that extra durability from the feet at the bottom. If you're using this at a park where there's a lot of rocks or sticks or stuff on the floor, it's not going to ruin the bottom of your parallettes because it's got that metal there for the durability. You can basically use this at any terrain. If you're going abroad, you want to take some nice pictures, probably you want to take these because they're going to be more stable, and you can use this on a range of terrains, not only grass, not only flat surfaces. It's going to be a little bit better because it has a little bit more stability, especially with the longer one. Again, this is personal preference, but a lot of people find this style of parallette by GORNATION, the light wood and the dark metal color, provides a lot of contrast. Some people find this as the most aesthetic mixed parallette. Again, it's more on the modern style of things, so the fully wooden parallettes, they're more classic gymnastic style, but this is a little bit more modern, fits in a lot of spaces, interiors as well. So this, for some people, is more aesthetic. And again, it's more stable than the wooden parallettes, especially longer ones like this. Because of the metal at the end, it provides a heavier base, which means it's almost never gonna tip unless you're doing something crazy. And remember, these mixed parallettes by GORNATION, the metal and wood, they have that 40mm diameter for the grip, so that's most optimal for most people for strength and balance. So this is gonna be the best, just like the fully wooden parallette. Now, the disadvantages and things to think about when buying a mixed metal and wooden parallette. So just like fully wooden parallettes, these aren't weather resistant. However, they're more weather resistant than fully wooden parallettes, but there's still wood here, so you don't want to get it soaked. There's also metal that's coated, so it's not going to rust, but if you're leaving it outside, then it will probably deteriorate a little bit, so it's not completely weatherproof. There's also wood here, so it's going to absorb sweat, so for that great grip and absorbing the sweat and easier on your joints, that's great, but again, it's going to be harder to clean. It's not a big deal, but something to note. And lastly, because there's metal here, these can be a lot more stable. However, that means they're bigger, so these aren't going to fit in bags very easily. You're going to have a pretty big bag, or if you're traveling long distances and you're not driving, then it might be a little bit tricky to carry. However, GORNATION, they do also offer a carrying strap for these, so you can actually just sling it and put it on your back, which makes it much easier if you're walking to a destination and it's not too far. You should be able to carry these. So as you can see, there's different heights to the different styles of mixed metal and wooden parallettes. So which one should you buy? Let's answer that now. So this low metal and wooden parallette is called the Parallette Pro by GORNATION, and its key defining feature is it's the most stable out of all the parallettes I'm showing today. So if you're a taller athlete, or you're someone that really values never tipping over, you want it to feel safe, you do a lot of hand balancing, dynamic movements that might make it tip, a lot of planche as well, but you like it low to the ground, this is going to be the one for you, because this is not going to tip unless you're doing something crazy. Again, it's got that metal at the end, it's got that long base for stability. So this is the number one for stability. It's also pretty portable as well, but it's mainly for stability. If you're taller as well or heavier, this is going to be for you. What skills is this parallette good for? Well, because it's similar in height to the fully wooden low parallettes, it's going to be similar skills. However, you're going to feel much safer and feel more stable. So that's really going to be good for those hand balancing skills and planches. You're going to feel super safe doing it. So next we have the much smaller mixed parallette. This is called the Parallette Active. This is going to be really good for those people that are just starting out calisthenics. They don't want to invest too much. They're still learning other skills, but they value portability. This is the most stable, but the most portable. So if you want a balance between portability, but also stable, then this is going to be for you. So lastly, to finish off the mixed parallettes, we have the metal and wooden mid-size parallettes. If you're already intermediate, you've got a few skills down, and you're looking to get advanced, you're already comfortable with a few things, this is gonna be for you because there's so much more you can do on this. You can even do a few pulling skills. They're kind of advanced, but you can start learning on them, playing around with different stuff, just because that extra height gives you so much more to work with. So if you're thinking of getting something that's gonna last a long time and be worth the money, then this is the investment you wanna go for. So these are called the Parallette Max by GORNATION, and for good reason. You can maximize your potential by getting parallettes like these. You can get those full range of motion handstand push-ups on these, as well as full range of motion planche push-ups. So firstly, we went low with the fully wooden parallettes, then we went mid and low with the mixed style of parallettes, and now we're gonna go high to dip bars with the fully metal parallettes, or dip bars as they're usually called. So first, let's talk about the advantages of metal dip bars. Of course, the number one advantage is gonna be the durability. Because these are fully metal, they can take a battering. These are gonna last a long time. So if you train outside, these are gonna be the ones you wanna go for in terms of durability. Again, it's not gonna be so comfortable because they're a little bit cold when it's in winter, and in the heat, you will find that they may be a little bit sweaty, but there's ways you can get around that with things such as grip tape. The next advantage is going to be weight capacity. Because they're fully metal, you can use a lot more weight with them, so you can do weighted exercises. So then think about getting fully metal dip bars. As I mentioned before as well, metal dip bars are going to be super easy to clean. They're fully metal, no wood involved, just give them a wipe down. And the last thing I want to mention is with the GORNATION style of dip bars, and with some other brands, they're very high. They're higher, and you can see these even dwarf my other dip bars. That means it opens up the doors to even more exercises, pulling exercises, and because of the height, you could even do pull-ups on these dip bars. So this is great. So if you are going to go for dip bars, think of getting higher ones, such as these GORNATION ones. They're about 90 centimeters, because you can even start doing weighted pull-ups on them. Another thing I almost forgot to mention about these new GORNATION dip bars is they also have something I've never seen before. They have these support beams between the dip bars you can install, so the dip bars never shift. So these are the most stable out of all the dip bars. If you want something that's going to stay the same width apart, it's not going to move at all, it's going to make it even more stable, and you have height, then these are going to be the bars for you. This is something I personally have never seen before, and is great because once you have that set width you like, you can just keep it there. If you're keeping the dip bars where they are, you always have that optimal width, and you won't have to guess each time where you're putting the dip bars for your optimal dip width or whatever exercise it is, even if it's planche. Quickly, let's go over the disadvantages of having fully metal dip bars. Of course, first is the bulkiness. These are bulky and hard to move around. It's best to keep it in one room, in one place. So it's more for those people that are just using it in one place. Now with the metal dip bars, should you buy them over the other parallettes? Well, that's going to come down to you on what skills you're learning and where you train. If you train mostly in one place, and you have skills that you want to learn that are pulling skills, and you have skills that you want to learn that are pushing skills, then dip bars sound like a great option for you. The benefit I've noticed from using the GORNATION dip bars compared to some other brands is because they're taller, you can be in static holds for longer. Let me take the front lever for example. You can be in that front lever position for longer because it takes a longer time for your feet to hit the floor. So that's free gains and free strength for you just by changing what dip bars you're using. So again, these dip bars are really great if you're training in only one area, you don't move around a lot, and you train a variety of different skills and exercises. If you're interested in getting any of the parallettes or dip bars I mentioned in this video, check the link down below and use the code JACK10 for minus 10% off, so you can get parallettes that are gonna last you forever for even cheaper. And if you like this video but you want even more detail into the material, the heights, the different styles of parallettes, well, I've already made that video and you guys loved it. It's at almost 70,000 views, which is why I'm making this video. But if you want more detail, check that one out because I go into detail. You'll learn everything you need to go and buy the perfect parallette for you.